good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that what to expect season preview slash predictions based off how the roster is currently constructed going into the season. Injuries not included because those guys can come back and still play the remainder of the season. And we're going to talk about, like the title says, the Charlotte Hornets, a team that only last year was able to get 19 wins. The year before that, 21, 27, and the most was 43. And that was a long time ago already, as quick and as fast as things can change and go in that type of direction. They're looking at like we got a nice rookie core, and LaMelo Ball should be healthy. Brandon Miller should be healthy. We got rid of Mark Williams. Diabate should step up and be that guy to finish and rebound and protect the rim a little bit in that paint. And if he can't do it, we got Mason Plumlee, and we also got um, Ryan, which makes sense because he's a big, strong guy, legitimate 277-1 height wise, and he can probably be an anchor type of guy in the future. He's just a little too slow. We'll see if he's able to find other techniques to be efficient at protecting the paint and rebounding and closing out possessions on the defensive end. But like I said, this team is going to be mainly successed by the play of LaMelo Ball or Brandon Miller, or a combination of them being hot. Obviously, with a little bit of Miles Bridges sprinkled in there. Some guys like Nipple just fitting right and just staying out the way, but also being guys that can hit shots that's open or create just a little bit. And that's all you're really asking him to do as a rookie. He's 20 years old, a legitimate 6'7". He's 217 pounds. So he has the body. He has to get used to playing a lot more games. He has to get used to playing a lot more minutes. He's going to have to get used to a new role, but he's going to have to also be dependable if they're going to win more games than they did last year. LaMelo Ball, obviously, he's going to have to stay healthier. He's going to have to force shots. He's going to have to take tough ones. He's going to have to be able to be an all-star caliber player just for his own season. Like, his goal should still to be one of the best players in the league, regardless of how his team plays. The legends have all done it. Like, our team wasn't great. We didn't have a real chance of winning a championship, but we went out there and did everything we could to be professional while also showing you that we're not players to mess around with. And if we do get the talent, we can actually get this thing steered in the right direction when it comes to winning. And LaMelo Ball just going to have to take that approach. His team might be young. His team might not be the greatest, but you still want to go out there and play as hard and do as much as you can, to motivate, and even for your own confidence, and even to see if you can win, you got to go out there and do a lot of work. And I think he understands that. He thinks, that he's really great. He thinks he's very good at this game, and I think he should just go out there and just play free while also allowing his teammates to be themselves. Like, it's hard to score 25 points in this league, and he was able to do it already, and he's only 24 years old in his NBA career. So I expect him to continue to be a good playmaker. He has to. He's the best player, so the ball is going to stay in his hands. He's going to have to continue to take a lot of threes. He took a career high 11.2 threes a game, but he didn't shoot it at the greatest clip, mainly because he had to take the good, the bad, and ugly when it comes to those threes. And he did shoot 40% from the field. That's a career low, but he also took 21 shots a game, which makes sense because he's the guy that's the best player, and he's the guy that's the best creator right now on this team. So it makes sense that his numbers show how brutal the NBA can actually be. But he has had trouble staying on the court. He only played 47 games last year. The year before that, 22. The year before that, 36. The highest he ever played was 75. And even his rookie season, he only played 51. So he's been a guy that's been banging it and doing whatever he can to try to put the ball in the basket. And that does come with injury, especially when you got a high usage rate. You have more collisions, more bumps, more knockdowns, and that gives you a chance of being injured. It just comes with the territory of being one of the best players in the league, which LaMelo Ball has shown that he can be one, especially at any position, especially at the point guard position. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but you just hope your teammates can lift some of that burden off you and make the job easier. Miles Bridges will be one of those guys that you would trust that can do that. He ended up getting 20 points a game. He also grabbed 7 boards and 4 assists. He continued to move the ball. He continued to look for his shot. He continued to stay aggressive. He did play 31 minutes. He finished the season with 64 games played. That's decent. Um, Try to shoot more threes this past season. Didn't really make it at a good enough level. He has to improve that shot if he wants them to continue to respect it. At this point, NBA teams are allowing him to take it. They prefer him to take it than try to bump and muscle his way to the paint. Did shoot 87% from the free throw line, and that was his highest of his career. So that was a positive thing. And, he showed that he can score and he can hang with it, but he was just in a situation where he had to because of the injuries that was sustained by players like Brandon Miller and LaMelo. Somebody had to score, somebody had to put the ball in the basket, and Miles Bridges said, you know what, I do it, because that's just how it goes sometimes. Guys like Pat Connaughton, Josh Green, they're going to try to see if they can knock down shots along with Con Knipple. Trey Mann is going to have to do the same from the perimeter. Either he's creating a shot for himself or trying to play off the ball and knock down shots. And these guys are going to have to attack in transition and get easy opportunities, even if that's the only way they're going to score, because it does build up confidence, but it also put points on the board. But they also have to be better defensively. I think this team will be terrible defensively. Some of these guys haven't grown into their body. Some of these guys are not really that strong. Some of these guys are not really aware enough to make stops or get stops or make something happen defensively. And some of these guys just don't care enough sometimes to be able to be good defensive stoppers. And it usually happens when you're young. You're really more focused on the offensive end because that's what's going to get you paid most of the time. That's what's going to get you fans. And I think they got trapped in that mentality a little bit. But it's up to the coach, Charles Lee, to be able to hold them accountable and push them and get them out their comfort zone and to get more out of them. Guys like Grant Williams, we might not see a lot of him because of the injuries. KJ Simpson, still unproven. Not going to really bring much to the table this year. Saloon was one of their better players, but he didn't really shoot the ball particularly well. And that just goes for a lot of players on this team. Antonio Reeves, I don't expect him to do much. Drew Peterson, he's a guy that we're going to see if he's even going to finish on this roster by the end of the year. I guess you can say the same thing about Antonio Reeves. Liam, McNeely, he's a guy that's very, very potential based too. I don't really see him doing a crazy amount in his first year. I think it's going to be tough out there for him to make shots, for him to get space, for him to get opportunities that he actually like. But he's still going to have to go out there and play and try to contribute the best way that he can, like the other players will have to do too. And then obviously Zion James, I don't really expect him to do much. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, he has been a good scorer everywhere he has been. Him and Colin Sexton are the veterans that's going to give them shot creation. They're going to be guys that's going to make plays for this team. They're going to be guys that's going to be expected to take a lot of shots, and they're going to be playing 20-plus minutes. I do like Colin Sexton as a player for this roster because he is a competitor. He is a guy that's going to be motivated. He is a guy that can knock down shots from the three-point line and off the dribble, and he can cause some defensive collapse, and that can help guys like Con and LaMelo get easier shots. I do understand that he's not going to bring much when it comes to winning, but he is better than a lot of other players they've been having on his roster and a lot of other players that's going to be in their rotation. So at least you know that he's young still, 26 to be exact, and he still has the ability to make this team a little bit better when he's out there on the court with any lineup. I feel the same way about Dinwiddie because he actually is legit when it comes to being an NBA player. They don't really have enough proven NBA caliber players on this roster that makes you feel like they're going in a good direction. They have so many guys that just aren't even close to being good on this roster or even impactful as a player, even individually. And you know they're gonna have to do this by just keeping their head up. They're gonna get blown out a lot. They're gonna get embarrassed. They're gonna be frustrated, but it's gonna be the way they take it. It's gonna be the way they bounce back. It's gonna be the way that they learn and try to get proper understanding what they can do better. And that's how this season gonna go for them. But Ryan, that's the last guy I want to talk about. Just a big, strong body, a guy that knows how to move his feet a little bit. But they took him 34th for a reason. He has some flaws. Can't really shoot. Can't really make shots on the perimeter. And on top of that, he's going to be near the paint the most. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That just was best for the team and for his play style right now. But he is a legitimate NBA body and a legitimate NBA player. A little old for a rookie, 23 years old, but he's going to be 24 by next season. By the halfway almost mark of the season in January. So he's really old for a rookie, but this is the type of player that they kind of needed. If they was going to lose guys like Nick Richards and Mark Williams, they had to replace that center position with some legit strength and some legit size. I think he can set screens to get some of these guys some easy opportunities. I think some dribble handoffs will help some of these guys get better looks too. And I think he can do it. It's simple, small things, but it goes a long way, especially with this team that doesn't have the greatest spacing, doesn't have the greatest shooters, doesn't have the greatest creators. Got to find a way to get them good looks, even if, you're not confident in them making the best or the right decisions right now. The coach knows what he has. The organization knows what they have. This is one of the worst rosters in the NBA. If you're a Charlotte fan, this is going to be another high loss season and low win season. Like I said, last year they won 19 games. I mean, the most games they might win is 27. If LaMelo and Brandon Miller and those guys stay healthy for a good portion of the season, they might get high 20s. But I think that's the highest this team's ceiling is going to be. And Brandon Miller, he's a heck of a player. Like, I still want him to put more weight on his body. I still want him to get more stronger so he can create better, so he can bang a little bit better. But that's only so he can shoot better from the field. He played only 27 games last year. He shot 40% from the field, which is bad. He did also take 18 shots. I think he's going to take around that again. He was okay from 35%. You would take it because he did take 10.9 three-point attempts per game last year. And then he also did get to the free throw line a little bit more, and he did make it at a better rate because he shot 86%. But he does need to help on the rebounds a little bit more. He does need to trust his teammates like he did a lot more last year, but he needs to continue to evolve into a good playmaker. And of course, the scoring and the opportunity is going to be there. He just got to see a healthy season to really gauge what type of player he's going to be in the NBA. We're starting to see that he has all-star potential. Like we knew, he was the number 2 pick in that draft, and he's showing you that he can score, he can create, he can, dish it out. He can do some other things too that can impact winning, and that's what you want in the number 2 pick. Now he has to, become a better player and understand the game a little bit better, how to play a little bit better, and that's gonna help him and his teammates, especially if they trust and he trusts them. So it's a long process. It's gonna be painful. Another tough year for this team and this roster, but all they can do is continue to bank on the draft. You're going to have chances. You're going to have opportunity to get guys that can really help this team out, that can really put some talent on this roster. You just got to continue to develop, continue to believe, continue to let them know this is going to be better days. We're going to have a better roster. We're going to have better players around us like Brandon Miller, LaMelo, and Miles Bridges. Got to understand that. Y'all getting paid, so it compensates, the losses for right now. Plus, y'all got more opportunity to show the players that y'all are and what y'all can really do and what y'all can really be. But until they get better teammates, they're going to struggle to win games. It's just as simple as that. And until they play better defense as a team, they're going to get a lot of losses for that reason too, because they're not the greatest offensive team either. So they have a lot of flaws and they have a lot of problems with this roster, including just too much youth and just too many guys that just can't do much right now. And they got the best guys they feel that they can get. It's just not good compared to other teams. and other rosters around the NBA, even in the East Coast, um, which is crazy to see how bad this roster is. And even to be honest, some of these guys need 2, 3 years before they might even be great NBA or even good NBA players. That's how low the talent level is on this roster for this year, if I had to be honest. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this and various different NBA only topics. To also hitting the notification bell will allow you to get the analysis when it first comes out. Not only that, I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock draft and draft covers too. So if you love that type of content, you can't get enough of it, you want more of it, this is the channel for you, because I also upload basketball videos each and every day. So you always got something to watch, you always got something to be entertained by, because that's just what I offer on this channel. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me in the past, the present. I hope y'all support me in the future. Thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is. Thank y'all for continuing to come back and make time for me and actually care about what I have to say and actually love what I make. That's why I make this content for y'all. Y'all love it. Y'all enjoy it. This is what y'all want to see. I got y'all covered, and that's what I'm going to continue to try to do to the best of my ability and as consistent as I can. I've been in this game for 10 plus years making content for NBA fans. So all I can say is just support me like y'all did in the past and I'd be happy. And that's all y'all been doing. So we're good right now. And that's a 50-50 reason why I'm still going 10 plus years later is because of that reason. So let's keep it that way as long as we can and enjoy, the game of basketball together. At the end of the day, y'all stay blessed up. I'm gone for now. I might see y'all later today or tomorrow. Other than that, peace.